The Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund (NSITF) says its investment philosophy is anchored on prudence, transparency, and low-risk options that safeguard workers' contributions. The managing director of the fund, Mr. Oluwaseun Faleye, disclosed this in an interview with the news agency of Nigeria (NAN) in Abuja. Faleye explained that the NCITF's investment decisions were guided by strict governance processes and board oversight to ensure accountability and transparency. He said that all investments and major expenditures are presented to the board for approval, maintaining transparency at every stage of decision making. He said that his vision is for all workers in both the private and public sectors to be fully covered under the scheme.
Accountability will speak to how we manage the funds that are entrusted into our hand to then be able to use for payment of claims and compensation when the accidents occur. And in that process, we have robust governance structure that manages how we spend money by way of, presenting any investment relating to that to our board, and then the board approves and we undertake investments. And of course, it's also to be transparent in our processes and be accountable in the service that we give. So such that when accidents occur, we're there and we're responsive to their challenges at that time. And we have always made the point that look, that is what we are here for, and we will continue to refine our processes to ensure that people are able to access our services in a much more prompt manner. And that for me really is the accountable way for people to see that their money is really impacting on their life. The law allows us to look at over time, looking at our data, to look at the risk profile of certain industries based on claims that are coming from that industry and say, okay, rather than 1% of total emolument of your staff, we're going to be charging 1.2, 1.5 because your risk profile is higher. But that will be driven by data. That will be driven by, the sort of, what we're seeing, the trends we're seeing from that industry. And that's why, technology is also important in what we do so that we can use data to track all of these things. And that's not going to be done in isolation. That's going to be done in constructive engagement with the relevant industries to see, look, this is the data we're seeing, this is your risk profile and all of that. And I say that invariably also means that if you adopt much more enhanced health and safety consciousness and awareness, either as an industry-wide concept or as a company-specific initiative, it means that your incident profile will come down. Do you understand? And it means that you can keep your the amount that we charge under the general threshold, which is 1%. So it's really interactive, I would say, about this funding structure. But for us, what we just want is an increased coverage where every Nigerian worker has the enjoys the benefit of employee compensation scheme. In terms of funding model, I think what the law mandates us to collect is 1% of total emolument of all workers, both in the private sector and public sector. We believe that that is sufficient, if everybody is contributing. I think the key thing is to expand the net from a coverage perspective, not expand the amount that is being charged. My vision is to ensure that all private sector workers are under the employee compensation scheme. All public sector workers, except the military, should be under the employee compensation scheme, both at the federal government, state government, and local government. Thankfully, the federal government, under this present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has been complying with the payment of employee compensation scheme obligations. They paid the 2024, they started paying the 2025. It means that every treasury funded worker of the federal government is covered under the scheme. It means that if there are any injuries, any death, any disability that arises out of work, NSITF will step in, and we are stepping in. We've had instances where we've met those challenges and provided support to people. But all of those is not just because we want coverage, or we want to expand coverage, is because we see the underlying effect of giving social protection to workers on our productivity. And when that effect translates into productivity, it translates into improved GDP. And it's simple. If I feel that if I give my best and the cost of work, either in the federal civil service or in the state civil service or even in my private business, that if per chance accidents occur or I'm injured, then my country or the agency that has been tasked with that has got my back, I will give my best. Now, if accidents occur and we then come to your rescue as we should under the law and our mandate, and your colleagues see it, it gives them confidence to give their best. If the person that is replacing you as a result of your disability or death sees what has been done to you and your family and your, they will give their best when they come back. And that's what creates a resilient economy. And that's really what we're trying to achieve.